Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Going within homage to perfection of wisdom. Some time ago, I had made a posted it. You cannot judge an awakened one by his actions. There is two things. Number one, actions. In case of an ordinary person, it is the action that determine your consciousness, that define you. But one who is awakened means his actions cannot define him. After awakening, he need not act, but he does it for the transformation of human consciousness. Take an example. A father is talking to a child. He lies, he does certain things, but that does not, his actions do not define him. His actions are directed to bring about change in the children. He wants the children to grow. So sometimes he tells certain stories, certain things. You cannot judge an awakened one in the same way from his actions. Actions are at one level and his consciousness is at another level, and there is no difference. Another example can be given. You see, there are actors and actresses who act in a movie. They are acting the role of a husband and wife. They know very well that they are acting, and the acting is simply a role that they are performing on the stage. They may act on the stage as husband and wife, but they are not. They may, and in the play, in the scene, the wife may die and he may cry. The scene will look very realistic, but in reality, that character which he is performing on the stage has died. He is aware of it. It happened once when people get emotionally connected to these movies. There were two movies of a particular actor who were running in a movieplex. In one movie, he dies midway. People come out crying. In the other movie that was running in the same Medplex, he continues to act hilarious until the last. The people come out laughing. The two different roles he was performing. A master has to perform different roles with each one of his disciples. With someone, he uses emotions to bring about change. In others, just like a doctor uses different medicines to bring about changes, bring about healing in their patient. The work of a master is like that of a healer. He heals you within, and in order to do that, he uses different methods and techniques. Out of those, actions are evolved. Actions are born. What you need may not be the need of the other person. So how can the same technique work with you? Same technique can work with the two. He knows about it, that I am giving, that the master is giving, that he is giving a technique to this person and a different one to another one. Based on that, how can you judge the master? And those who mistake judging the master from his actions are mistaken. That is how the people in the world, they judge an awakened one. They judged Buddhas, Oshos, Krishnamurti, Raman. Someone said, should an awakened one get angry? What is the difference between your anger and that of an awakened one? Just do one thing. Get angry, and after that, look at your face, the frowning of the face. Introspect your inner state after that. You will know the difference that I am talking about. In a miniature way, you know when you are training the children. You will know as a mother, you get angry with the child, but anger is on the surface as a correction. Once it happened, a seeker came to Raman Maharshi. He asked him a question, and in response to that question, Raman said, all you need to do, go within. He asked the same question again and again, and Raman each time said, you do not worry, go within. But the person kept on pestering. At this, Raman got really angry, and when an awakened one gets angry, his anger is total. Every part of his being is angry. You can see not a halfway anger. He took his walking stick, shouted at the man, and chased him out of the ashram. None of his disciples saw such kind of action from Raman. He chased the man out of the gates of the ashram and returned smiling. Such is the anger of an awakened one. So you never judge an awakened one from his actions. Today, the going within, homage to the perfection of wisdom. Buddha continues, the lovely, the way, the lovely, the holy, Avalokita, the holy Lord and Bodhisattva. Avalokita is a Buddhist master. Avalokita, the holy Lord and Bodhisattva, was moving in the deep course of the wisdom which has gone beyond. The wisdom gone beyond. He looked down from the high. He beheld but 5 heaps and saw that in their own being. 5 heaps I will explain. First, the verse of the sutra. He looked down from the high. He beheld but 5 heaps, and he saw that in their own being they were empty. Shankara spoke of these heaps. They are menace, they are obstruction in the growth, anger, lust, greed. Each one of you is the seed of awakening, the seed of Buddhahood. But the seed is hidden deep within you. It hasn't got the nourishment or the opportunity to start opening itself. The process has not yet begun. Yet still an awakened one can see that. Each bud has to blossom and become a flower and then a fruit. But may not know. Each one of you has to attain to awakening. Maybe slow, but if you introspect your life, what the company of the awakened one has done to your living, to your understanding, has it brought any change in your life, in your understanding, the life and its living? Then you will know that it is growing. I salute the seed of Buddhahood in each one of you. You may or may not be aware of it. You may have not dreamt about it, that you are a Buddha. Just as the seed may not have known that it is a flower, that nobody can be anything else but a Buddha. Because that is, Buddha means whatever form. Buddha is a word that explains the awakening. A female will awaken in her own way. The word blossoming is used for all the flowers. So blossoming is not a Buddhist word or word of any other tradition. It is a word that is used to help a process. And the same process is used for the blossoming of a marigold, a chrysanthemum, orchid, rose, and rose of different colors. So when I say Buddhahood or awakening, it refers to the process. You blossom in your own way with your inner seed. The gardener simply helps the plant, provides its proper nourishment so that rose blossoms in its own way and brings the rose flowers. Marigold blossoms to bring out the marigold flower of a different color. Orchid, chrysanthemum, all these flowers blossom in their own way. Blossoming is different, but the word each blossoms. You blossom in your own way. The other will blossom in his or her own way. It never changes. The very essential core is that each one of you has to attain to this blossoming, and until this happens, the seed will remain there. It is the Buddhahood, this blossoming, this awakening is the essential core of your being. That is not something to happen in future. It has already started happening. It is the very source that you come from. It is the source and the goal as well. It is from Buddhahood that we move. It is to Buddhahood that we move. This one word, Buddhahood, completes all, full circle of life from A to Z or Alpha to Omega. But you are asleep. You do not know who you are. Not that you have become a Buddha, not that you have become awakened, but only that you have to recognize it. You have to return to your source. You have to look within yourself. You have to confront yourself. And that confrontation will reveal your innerness. The day you come to see yourself, come face to face with yourself, the whole existence becomes enlightened. The moment Buddha became enlightened, the birds, the flowers, the sky, the mountain, everything became enlightened with him. It is not that a person alone becomes enlightened. How can a person become enlightened? How can a person become enlightened? The very idea of being a person is part of an unenlightened mind. It is not that I have become enlightened, or Osho has become enlightened, or Raman had become enlightened, or you will become enlightened. That is absurd. The day I became enlightened, the whole existence became enlightened. And you realize that everything is shining in its divine splendor. Since The moment I realize this, you will not find. The day you will realize, you will not find anyone who is not enlightened. But each one of you is in different stages of enlightenment. Just as flower is in different stage of flowering. When a gardener plants, who is doing the nursery, he plants his gardening. He knows this month he can sell 100 rose plants. So he prepares the bed for 100. And he knows that these flowers, these plants will start blossoming or bringing out a flower in a certain period of time. Maybe 3 weeks after he plants another set. So they will blossom 3 weeks after. Maybe these 100 plants will take 3 weeks to blossom. But when it is a season, he will do more work. So every one of you is in the process of blossoming. The process has already begun the moment you are born, but you are not aware, and the moment you come in the company of an awakened one, you become aware of this process of inner blossoming, inner opening. You cannot be a rose plant, cannot bring out anything other than the roses. So too, you are the seed of awakening in myriad forms. Maybe your seed contains a pink flower of blossoming. It will happen that way. 2 plants staying next to one another. One blossoms to bring out pink flower. Next one another shade of pink. The third one golden yellow. So names may be different, forms may be different, with 1,001 problems, but Buddhas is still. So I salute each one of you, the Buddha in you. I am happy that you have been part of this streaming. The very fact of your coming to this streaming is the beginning of the recognition that you have recognized that you are the seed. The respect in your heart for this process, the love that you have in your heart for this process of blossoming, the respect and the love for your own inner awakening is important. The trust in the process of blossoming is not something extrinsic to you. The trust in your own growth is self-trust. By trusting the process and the awakened one, you come to learn your own inner self. By coming close to an awakened one, when you come in the company of an awakened one, it is a process of coming close to your own being. A master becomes a process to bring you closer to yourself. The more you love a master, the more you understand. The more you understand yourself, the more you love yourself in the same proportion. Only recognition has to be attained. The diamond is here. You have forgotten about it, or you have never remembered from the very beginning. There is a famous saying of Emerson, man is God in ruins. In a way I agree with it, and in a way I do not agree with it. The insight has some truth in it. Man is God in ruins. But man is not God in ruins. Instead, he is God in the making. Because Godhood or flowering is the ultimate destiny of the seed, and each seed is in the process of blossoming as a flower. The insight is there, but it is a little upside down. Man is not ruin, instead man is God in the making. He is a budding Buddha, budding awakened one. The bud is there, the seed is there, seed has become a plant has brought out the bud. Today the gardener comes and he sees this bud is still a bud. Tomorrow it may blossom, and the process of blossoming will continue for a little while. Unless the blossoming is total, the bud is there. It can blossom any moment. Just a little effort, just a little help, and the help is not going to cause it, but it is already there. Your effort is only going to reveal it to you. Help to unfold what is there, hidden. It is a discovery. But truth is already there. It is eternal. Listen to these sutras, because they are most important sutras in Buddhist literature. That is why these are called as Heart Sutra, Prajna Paramit, Hridayam Sutra. It is the very heart of Buddha's message, the very secret. Let me begin from the very beginning, from this point, the very message of Buddha becomes relevant. Let it be there in your heart that you are already the seed of Buddhahood, the awakened. I know it may look hypothetical. You cannot trust us totally. That is natural. I understand this. Let it be there, but as a seed. Around the fact, many things will start happening, and only around that fact, one day you will understand these sutras of Prajna Paramita Hridayam Sutra. They are immensely powerful, very small, condensed, seed-like. But with this soil, with this vision in mind, it is the mind, it is your understanding, which provides the soil and nourishment. With this soil, with this vision in mind that you are Buddha, that you are blossoming Buddha, that you are potentially capable of becoming one day. Nothing is lacking, all is ready. Things just have to be put in the right place. The room is there, all the furniture is there, all the deco is there. You need an interior decorator to put the place in the right place. A little living room set in this corner gives a different appearance, and in this corner gives another appearance. Just a little change, the whole ambience and the look of the setup changes. All is needed. A little bit of adjustment here and there. Things have to be put in right order, that a little more awareness is needed, a little more consciousness. Treasure is there. You have to bring a small lamp inside your house. Once the darkness disappears, you are no longer a beggar. You will be the king, the Buddha. You will be sovereign, the emperor. The whole kingdom is yours. It is just for asking. You have to claim it. But you cannot claim it if you claim yourself, if you believe that you are a beggar. You cannot claim it. You cannot dream about it, claiming if you think that you are a beggar. This very idea that you are a beggar means that you are ignorant, that you are a sinner. This has been preached for so many years, down the ages, that it has become a deep hypnosis in you. This hypnosis has to be broken. You are not a sinner. You may sin. To sin and to be a sinner are two different things. To sin is a very small thing. To be a sinner is a deep hypnosis. This has to be broken. To break this, I start by saluting the seed of awakening deep within you. To me, you are the seed of infinite possibilities. You may blossom as a poet, as a flute player, as a musician, as a dancer, as a writer, as a speaker, in myriad ways. Roses of different colors and shades, marigold, orchids of different colors, shapes. That is what you are. This has to become your tacit understanding that you are it. This is the only beginning. You have to begin from this point to remind you that you are the seed of infinite possibilities. If an awakened one does not remind you that you are the seed of infinite possibilities, his teaching has not yet begun. And this has to be your tacit understanding. This is the right beginning and the only beginning. Otherwise, you may go astray. This is the right beginning. Start it with this vision. And do not be worried that it can create some kind of ego, that I am a Buddha. Don't be worried, because the entire process of this Buddhist scripture, the Heart Sutra, that he spoke to Sariputra, one of the Buddhist monk, Prajna Paramit, Hridayam Sutra, will make it clear to you that ego is the only thing that does not exist. The only thing that does not exist, everything else is real. We will continue it in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.